Hello, this is Thomas, together with my good friends from Agile Ventures, Pavel, Christian, and Brian. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully some other people will be joining us. We were gonna Scrum first, and then after that we're gonna have a dev meeting or a sprint planning, continuous sprint planning for Website 1 project. And yeah, let's start with the regular Scrum that we always have at this hour. Brian?
Okay, for me, I admittedly didn't do much since yesterday. Yeah, I was just busy the whole day. So my plans for today, I guess, is to get involved with the dev meeting. I wanted to get into the client meeting, but I completely forgot when it was. I thought it would be now, but looks like it already happened.
It was supposed to be now, but we kind of decided on the fly that we put it a little earlier because it was conflicting with Sam's schedule, basically.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, is he at Makers today?
No, but he has some other stuff, I guess.
Okay.
But there is a recording, you know, so
Okay.
if you want to catch up, so. Yeah.
Sure, I'll try and find that video. Yeah. The pull request has been pretty quiet lately. Well, not much major updates. A couple of things small things I need to look at. Others seem to be waiting for fixes. So Johnny's still has that work in progress, refactoring, single sign-on, I believe. Create hookup looks like it's the build's failing. So I guess John E is still working on that.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about this because usually, you know, we never used to submit pull requests with failing tests on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little surprised because we have 3 or 4 pull requests with failing tests.
Yeah, I'm not sure when this picked up. I think mostly because sometimes there'd usually be random failures.
Okay.
Which is not good, to be honest. But we haven't fixed that yet. I thought most of them are like that. I usually check what type of failure they are and just rebuild it if necessary.
Yeah, we had this discussion. We can return to this later, perhaps.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah.
So
I guess that's
anything stopping you right now?
Blocking me? No, nothing blocking me.
Cool.
I'm more free today. Cool.
All right.
That's me.
So Christian.
Okay. Well, I've been out of the project for a couple of weeks, and I've come back here really to catch up with what to do next. Maybe get some assignments. Sure.
Now let's see. I just tried to pull out your. This is you on Website 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Great. Yeah. So you've been away for a while, and we talked about off meeting. We spoke briefly about that you were looking for some stories in this project, and also Christian, I would like you to point out that we will reboot the Cordelia project this weekend. I'm planning to hold a meeting for people that are interested in that project. If we can gather a dev team and restart the effort to build this this library of teaching educational materials and also a website to host them. I don't know if you're familiar with the Cordelia project.
Yes, I heard about that. That's to get new people into coding, specifically females. And I thought a project, a course had actually been run once on that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, no, not yet. I mean, we had this potentially cool collaboration with a educational institution in the United States, but I don't think that picked up, and I left, and things kind of just faded away. So I think we have to restart this and then gather the group together. So yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to mention that If you're looking
do you know
for
what
some,
time on Saturday?
no, I haven't decided that yet, but I'll get back to you on that. Okay. So,
Okay.
so feel free to, you're more than welcome to join us and see if this kind of suits your area of interest or anything. So,
Yeah. No, thanks.
cool. So yeah, but we'll find something for you in website 1 as well. So, but let's get back to that during this meeting. And so I guess nothing's stopping you apart from not having anything to work on right now.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Pavel.
Okay, well, for me, all is pretty simple. Yesterday I carried out AmericasScrum, and for tomorrow I will do the same thing. Nothing blocking me except of the time, my time problems, and that's it for me. Yeah, that's it. Your turn, Thomas.
Okay, my turn. Yeah, so I was working with Sam a bit. We had the client meeting. We accepted some stories, and so most of them, I mean, most of the stuff that we spoke about, we looked on was there wasn't any complications. He just accepted most of it. He had some comments on I think 2 or 3 stories that I think Yarrow has been following up on, and so we will be able to accept those tomorrow, I guess, or something. So, and apart from that, I spoke to him about the discussion we had about the development server to loosen up that structure a little bit, and then perhaps allow like spikes to be deployed to development, and it's a no-go on that. So, but we can return to this subject during the dev meeting. And there are some other issues. I have some notes from the client meeting that I'd like to review with you guys. And apart from that, I started to work on the UI updates. I created a local branch, and I will be working on that. And I wrote up some new stories in Pivotal Tracker, and that we can potentially vote on perhaps today or tomorrow. And I guess nothing is stopping me. I'm just continuing to work on those issues. And I guess that's all from me. Okay, any questions? No. So we're basically done with the Scrum right now, right? And we can move on to the second part of this meeting, being the developer, well, the sprint planning and yeah, the dev team meeting. Let me just tell you guys what I would like to add to the agenda, and that is I would like to discuss a little bit on the workflow issue. I need to clarify what we use GitHub for. The main repository. I would like to see, have a discussion about the role of Pivotal Tracker and the comment section in website 1, because I feel that there is a lot of discussion going on each and every pull request, which is good as long as we stay in the code review sphere, kind of. I think we need a place to discuss strategy or new features, and should that be the document section and website 1, or should it be in Pivotal Tracker, or should we, where do we, discuss things, and where do we present spikes and stuff like that? So that's I would like to talk about that. Also, we have this CoffeeScript issue that Yarrow just commented on, and Brian, I think you have some input on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one point on the agenda, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to do some voting today, if we can, on some stories, and I would like us to prioritize a little bit what we should work on, and stuff. And also, Brian, you and I perhaps should, come up with a plan, or at least make a decision if we are getting ready to push stuff out to production from the latest pull request that we have merged in and stuff,
Yeah.
Or if there's any hang-ups. I know that the Scrum index page is a potential a pitfall for us.
Yeah, I think the whole events thing, the hookups, all that is not strung together properly. So I'd like to get something, ideally to deal with all of that.
I need to. I was hoping that Yarrow and Jan would be here, because we were supposed to have a demonstration of this, or at least a discussion about the events last Saturday, Saturday, and we didn't have that. Nobody showed up to that meeting, and I was hoping that we could talk about it today, and and none of these guys are here, so I don't know where we're heading with this stuff right now. I'm a little worried, actually. And also, there's another thing I noticed, and I'm not happy about this. I noticed that some stories in Pivotal Tracker are sometimes edited after we've been voting on them. And I just want to say that by changing the name, for instance, by changing the simple thing as a title of a story to something, that the title kind of sets the scope of the story, right? So if the story has been voted on and there's a user story attached to it, first of all, we need user stories to every story in Pivotal Tracker. I would say and argue that we shouldn't vote on anything that doesn't have a user story attached to it, first of all. Second of all, if a story has been voted on, it's kind of locked. We cannot do any edits in the user story or the title or anything, because that can affect the scope of the story, and which in turn also affects the estimated points, right? So we can add some tasks and stuff, but we should do it in discussion with other people, basically. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yeah. So no editing after a vote, has been accepted. And also about spikes, I received a pull request yesterday on a story that hasn't been voted on, and we had a discussion. It was presented to me afterwards as a spike, and I don't want, personally, I don't want this kind of pull requests being made to the main repository, because if code is not supposed to be inserted, emerged into the code base as a spike, I mean, a spike is a spike, right? It has nothing to do with the code base. So I don't want to see that in the main repository. If a spike is supposed to be presented to the rest of the dev team, we could do that on Slack or using Pivotal Tracker or whatever. It doesn't have to involve GitHub.
Right.
Can we agree upon this?
Yeah. I think one thing I want to suggest as well for the coming pull request is I'm going to be much more stricter on what the relation is between the pull request and the pivotal story. For example, like Yarrow, I think his last pull request basically had 3 stories in them, which one is a small refactoring on top of existing code. 2, he's introducing CoffeeScript. 3, and then he's also introducing Ajax. So I think from pull request now on, if I see something like that, I'm just going to reject it, saying that this is beyond the scope.
Yeah.
So I want to be a lot more strict on this, because I think our process, we don't have a process, basically. We're not really using Pivotal Tracker as much as we should be.
Yeah.
And it is a mess right now. So hopefully what I want to get out of this meeting is to look at the pivotal stories, start prioritizing them, and start putting some back into the icebox that we don't want.
Yes.
Backlog and the current is too full. It's very hard to keep track of anything. I don't think we have any clear direction with all this here.
I gotcha. Yeah. I totally agree on that. So basically, Also, I spoke to Sam about this developer. You know, the thing that we discussed in the one of the first meetings we had after I returned, that we should loosen up the dev server, and you know, Sam just made it clear to me, and it's you know, sometimes you get lost in your own thoughts, but of course the dev server, the code base on dev is the main point for everybody to work towards. You know, we should be very strict, of course, with what code is getting merged into that, because this is, you know, that branch is the main branch. It's the upstream for everybody. You know, it's the main branch where people pull code from to work on their own feature branches, for instance. So there is no way that we can loosen anything up. Instead, we should get more strict in what we pull in. As you mentioned, Brian, if a story is out of scope, because I'm totally with you on this one, because we sometimes introduce code that is, you know, it's not there, it shouldn't be there, you know, it's out of scope, and we just introduce it because, you know, whatever, but then it messes things up further down the road, and, you know, we just sit there with our, you know, dicks in our hands and saying, where did this come from, you know, and you know what I mean. So yeah, more strict control of is this really needed and necessary, basically.
I think I have to agree with Sam, because I'm starting to realize develop is getting too chaotic. I keep merging things in, so I'm actually stricter.
So and I'm very glad that I had this discussion with Sam, and, you know, when he presented it like this, I was of course, sure. I was like, sorry I even asked, you know, about these things. So absolutely. Although I couldn't get a straight answer out of Sam about what we should do with a staging server, but we did agree upon that. I can have client, you know, we push the code out to the staging server. Then we have a client meeting, and then if a story is accepted or rejected, you know, after, I mean, what I'm trying to say is, after the stories are accepted, then we push that out to the production server. Okay. Yeah. So that's so that's the way. So you and I, we only, you know, push to staging. We don't push any further than that. Unless the stories are totally accepted, which means basically back to the you know, the what I said about, you know, pushing things out. We could start you know, preparing pull requests for the staging server, even the way Scrum index page looks, you know, like it does right now, and with the events stuff not fully finished. Then we could present some of that stuff to Sam, and has his opinion on it, perhaps. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, let's think about it. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Okay. What else? Guys, feel free to interrupt, or if you have any comments. Christian and
I don't have comments.
Pavel.
Yeah, I'm just listening now.
Cool. Okay, we need a decision on that coffee script.
I was actually hoping
Yarrow
for Yarrow to be here, but
what was the issue on coffee strip? I didn't catch that.
Whether or not we should introduce this to the project, because at the so far we've been writing in plain JavaScript, and Yarrow is now advocating for switching over to CoffeeScript. So that would involve a lot of refactoring of existing code into CoffeeScript.
One would argue that we could put that refactoring off in the future. But okay, Sam had a saying. Basically, we were. He said no. Should I? Well, Sam presented Armando's take on CoffeeScript.
Yeah.
And that was a no-go, right?
That was what his opinion was. Personally, I'm not in favor of CoffeeScript either. It really hides what JavaScript is about. And if you want to write JavaScript, you should really be writing JavaScript instead of trying to move to something that's Ruby-ish or a mix between Ruby and Python or whatever.
Okay.
So personally, I'm still against it. So Yaro's is the only one who can support it, I think.
Okay, and Yaro's comment here on Slack is that CoffeeScript is still a great improvement over plain.js,
Yeah.
and if
So it
it
looks like, in my opinion, he just doesn't like JavaScript, which is the only reason why he wants CoffeeScript.
okay, all right.
So that's why it doesn't really bring any improvements to the table. It really just hides the underlying JavaScript, and it makes it more difficult because most of the code out there will be written in JavaScript, and then you have to do a mental compilation into CoffeeScript or decompilation into JavaScript whenever you're trying to debug. So I think it just slows people down unless
Okay.
you're really, really passionate about CoffeeScript. I wouldn't take it in.
So we know his take on it, and we don't have any other people. Do you guys, Pavel, do you have any opinion on this, or?
Well,
and Christian?
frankly speaking, I think that we shouldn't make the JavaScript more opaque with CoffeeScript, because that's just, if it's just another interpreter, a compiler for JavaScript, I don't think it's the way we should work, because every developer should know JavaScript. It's just, I think it's kind of normal to know JavaScript, and I don't know. I don't think that it is more effective than JavaScript, but it's my opinion. I found JavaScript is quite an easy language, so I don't see something real pluses of using it. So that's my opinion on personal.
Okay. And
For
Christian?
me, it just feels like another thing to learn. I'm not sure whether it gives us any advantages. Nobody's mentioned anything about that, but I'd agree with the others actually.
All right.
Being more removed from JavaScript seems to obscure what's actually going on.
Okay. All right. And my take is also basically the same. I'm not a JavaScript expert. I'm not a CoffeeScript expert, but I think that at this late stage into the development process of this application, I would say that I would need really good incentive to support a new language or a new technology being introduced like this. So I would say no, just because of that. And after hearing your take on this, Brian, and you guys' opinions, and also what Sam relied on to us for us Armand's take on this, I would say no. Usually, I wouldn't even, since Yaro isn't here, I wouldn't even consider his opinion. But I know he's a very valuable member of this development team. That's why I kind of let through. Let his voice be heard in this discussion as well, even though he's not present. We could go to a vote, but I feel it's unnecessary. His voice is the only one supporting CoffeeScript, and the rest of us are saying no to it. And so for me, that discussion is settled. I would say no to this.
Okay, I agree.
Yep.
All right. Okay. That's it. So okay, I think from my side, we covered most of this. I say that we keep GitHub free from code that shouldn't be there, and let's communicate to our devs that we need pull requests that are more or less finished. I know that, listen, perhaps a question to you, Brian. I know that you guys introduced this WIP, work in progress badge.
Yeah.
Why?
Partially because I was away most of the time. I cannot be involved with pairing. I wanted to see what's happening while they are working on it. So that's the only reason I introduced it. But so far I haven't really been using it that much. So perhaps it is best to scrap that.
Yeah, because see, when I look on those pull requests that we have now, we have this the work in progress from John, right?
Yeah.
And that's cool, I guess. But there isn't much discussion going on there or anything, you know. So it doesn't have any purpose in itself to have it as a pull request. This could might as well be, you know, in his own repository, and he could communicate with some people, you know, that are interested in this over Pivotal Tracker, you know, and you know, there could be a link to his repo, and people could ping pong with him or whatever.
Yeah, I think the problem is we're not using it properly.
Yeah.
What I normally use work in progress pull requests for are some controversial changes that I want people's opinion on, and I usually like ping people, you know, have a look at this diff. Is it okay? You know, is what I'm doing the right or something? So I think so far there isn't really much activity, so that's one problem. And yeah, what we really should be doing is
I would say let's move people out from this into Pivotal Tracker, and let's have a look at this. And with nothing bad about John here, but you know, I'm seeing that the pull request description is, I'm looking at this again, and frankly, I don't even know what this is in this case, because I don't see a link to a Pivotal Tracker story or anything. You know, I would like to see that. So of course I know what SSO authentication is, but I would like to see, you know, some sort of a background discussion on why are we having this, you know, and stuff. So I would say let's move this. All this could be moved to Pivotal Tracker, I think. You know, all these discussions and stuff could be done on Pivotal Tracker. And I think that what I would like us to decide here today is that, you know, a pull request is a pull request when it's, you know, mostly, you know, finished.
Mostly finished, yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
Of course, I'm leaving, you know, I don't want to say that, you know, you submit a pull request and we just merge it in, or we just a quick pull, you know, code review and that's it. I encourage people to do the peer code review. You know, we can have a minimum time of 3 days or 4 days for a pull request to you know, sit there and mature for a while. You know what I mean? But mostly, I'm talking about 95% done, and you know, after some sort of code review, you can introduce some minor changes. But I wouldn't say that a pull request is not a place to, you know, to ping pong, or it's not a place for getting new ideas and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
But Thomas, it's quite a handy place to comment on the code, though, because you can inject your comments between two lines, and I found actually that some of the code reviews I received back quite useful.
Yeah, I think, but what Thomas is suggesting is we only start making pull requests when we're mostly finished. So even something like work in progress should really be done when it's mostly finished, but maybe your approach, you're not very confident with your approach, and you want people to look at it without thinking of it as, you know, the final thing.
Yeah, I'm not saying, Christian,
yeah.
I'm not saying no to code reviews. I'm saying, you know, be mostly finished. Don't be, you know, 100% finished.
Yeah. Okay.
So because you know, this software, so you're never quite. We can always refactor stuff, and we can always do things better. But at some point, you know, I mean, we have had pull requests sitting here for a long time, generating, you know, hundreds of comments and discussions, and you know, and the developers have been moving, you know, back and forward between different solutions. And I would say that, look, okay, this is my proposal. This is my story. This is the way I want to deliver it, you know, and I can, you know, you can give me feedback, and but it's my decision whether I should, you know, listen to the feedback. But then a refactoring issue is something, you know, it's a new story. Then I'm no longer allowed, you know, it's a next iteration, because we want to push out working code. You know, we want to deliver first of all.
No, right? I think you're right. It's too late actually to discuss it once the code is written.
Yeah.
Designs, you know.
But I'm open. You know, I'm always glad if you know, if you think you can do it better than me. Just open up a new story in Pivotal Tracker to refactor this and give me a good reason for it, and that just we go and vote on it, and you're free to do it. You know what I mean? So, so otherwise we sit too long on certain things, I guess. Okay. So can we have a like? How can we have? What have we decided?
I'll speak to John about this, if he's whether or not he's finished with it, because I haven't seen activity lately. But yeah, if he's not done, then we'll close it down.
Yeah, and also, we can just communicate to our devs that, the pull requests should first of all, tests should be passing. And the staff needs. I mean, this is not a place for ping ponging. You know what I mean? If you want to collaborate with somebody, creating a pull request and asking them to pull code from that is not the solution. Use your own repositories, basically. The pull request is for code that is supposed to be merged in.
Right.
All right. Cool. Okay. Should we have a look at the pivotal tracker and just start to clean up the back that you were suggesting?
Yep.
You want to share your screen, perhaps, if you want to take a lead on that part of the discussion?
Sure. Let me. Hey, hit. Can you all see me?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So, all these stuff that has been finished, fine, we'll leave it as that. So let's start looking at some of the stories which haven't been started yet. Okay, events, a list of planned events. Right, let me read the description. As a user logged in or not, I'd like to perform CRUD on pending and active and past events from the same interface in order to decide when to join an event and to perform other event management. So I think I wasn't around when this story was introduced. Does anybody remember what?
Okay, first of all, let me just. You were around actually, and this story was completely different when it started. And
okay.
Look, 21 hours ago, somebody changed the description to and this story had been voted on a long time ago. It's a 2-point story, and as you read the user story, it says, "I'd like to perform CRUD on pending and active and past events." Okay. A CRUD interface, usually is split up in several stories, and most of them are usually set to 3 points. Okay.
Right.
And this is a 2-point story, 2-point story, and that used to have. Let's see. It used to have. This user story used to say, as a user, I'd like to see the lists of pending and active scrums in table format. So there was no talk about CRUD in the original user story.
Can we see who changed
right.
it?
Yes, John changed that.
How can you see the past?
Oh, okay. If you click on this little clock in the story, it says view the history of the story.
Oh, okay.
And it pops up on the side everything that has been done and when.
Right.
So I commented on this yesterday, 22 hours ago. It seems that this story changed from blah 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 to something else, and that this user story does not match the story title. So they changed the story title and the user story now, and I'm really against that. We don't do things like that in this project, okay? So we're just gonna. I don't know how to. I don't know what we should do with this, but I would say that we should stop this work right now, and I would like to have Yarrow and John included in this discussion, basically.
Right.
It's a no-go. It's a no-go on my part.
Yeah, it has changed quite a lot from the original description. So this is, in fact, a completely different story from the one we originally voted on. Yeah, So I
Yeah,
think
and you see that the estimation was done the August 6th, right? The
the
points. The points was
estimation.
you know, it says the 6th of August. We estimated this as you know as a
Okay,
two-point
estimated.
story, and
Yep.
after that, there's been a lot of additions done. So you know,
Yeah. Well, adding labels is fine, but changing description is completely, and it's completely different story now.
yeah,
So this really needs to be re-estimated. I would put it back to on. Have they started on this?
yeah. This is started. Yeah,
Okay, right. Yes, because this is a completely different story now. I'm just gonna unestimate everything, put it back into the icebox
yeah.
because this is really something completely different.
Mhm,
So I'm putting it back there.
mhm.
Um, document updates, history. Okay. In order to have only useful information on the page as a user, I would like to hide secondary information like revision history. Okay, is this the one
This
where
is a UI. This is a UI issue, right?
okay, yes.
So it's what is it? Is it estimated the first on 1 point? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
one
actually
point.
I wasn't aware that this story existed, so I have a task for this in a chore. But we can have
Oh,
a. I wouldn't say that this is. Uh, I mean, yeah. Um,
right.
well, let's have a look at the lo-fi. What did they? I don't see.
I think it should just really be the same as all the others. Revision, collapsible region.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Sure. This is a UI. This is
Expanded.
I don't know.
Yep.
If they want to work on it, they can work on it. I wouldn't say that this is an important thing right now. It's a chore. It's more of a chore. It's not a feature even. I think.
hmm Well, actually, it can be a feature, I think, because it adds something to the site.
Yeah, but yeah, I get it. The thing is that we have a similar functionality on articles, I think already. So it's just
Yeah.
it's mostly a cut and paste solution.
hmm
Should be tested, I guess. So yeah,
hmm
let's keep this as a feature. No problems.
Okay.
Mm,
Yeah. I wonder how well it's already started, so
yeah,
um,
sure.
but perhaps not huge priority, but we can leave it at that. Introduce new static pages. Well, I started it, never finished it. This is my own fault. Didn't finish all this. So my original intention was to update all the static pages. This was actually including the About Us page that I think Yara went ahead and did it on a separate story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would say add me, and I'm gonna add me and Sam as owners of this because
Oh,
this
yes.
is this is
Yeah.
our joint responsibility.
Yeah.
So
And those 4 pages are still waiting.
yeah, I know,
Grow paragraph.
I know, I know, I know.
They've been all yeah. Yeah, I have more time now, so I'll look into this.
Yeah.
So would
But
you
the thing
say
is that
this?
the thing is that we are planning about redoing the landing page what's altogether. So
Ah,
I
yeah.
think potentially those round banners have to go.
Okay.
So, but yeah, let's
Okay.
let's let's keep it here for a while and see if we can work on it or scrap this
Mhm.
story and work on
Right.
something else instead.
Well, since we haven't started it yet, I'm gonna put it as unstarted and move it into the backlog, or
Absolutely.
it moved automatically. Convenient. Cool. Public dashboard. Okay, this is perfectly legit. I believe it's been voted on. Yaro has started it with Craig, I believe. Christopher. Sorry. Um, cool.
Yeah.
Public dashboard. Okay, let me just read the description. In order to attract more users to Agile Ventures as a project maintainer, I would like to present some attractive statistics to new visitors of website 1. Right.
Hmm.
I think we're all clear on what this was. It was just relatively recently that we voted on it, so I'm okay with it staying there.
Yeah.
Cool. Um,
Documents
Adds-
management.
Documents management. Oh, can we deal with this one just above it first?
Oh,
Add
sorry.
search
I'm sorry.
filtering.
Sorry. Yeah.
Add search filtering to users index. So let me read the description. As a site user, in order to be able to speed up the process of finding a specific user profile, I would like to use a dynamic search filtering form when accessing the list of users. Okay, so I think this is fine. It's in progress. A pull request has been made. We're making comments on it.
Yeah.
So-
Again. Like use. Okay. Never mind. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sure. And this is almost done. I think that
Yep.
there's a pull request, and the only thing I asked for today is there was a link to a demo site, and I clicked on the demo site, and there is no search form on the user's index.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, what? You know. So somebody forgot to push out some code to their own
Okay.
instance.
Yep.
Never mind.
Anyway, so yeah, that's coming along fine. So we'll leave that there. Documents management. In order to have a clear structure of documents as a site user admin, I want to be able to move the documents from one section to another. Now, I think the story was in there for a while.
Well, I think there's a pull request.
Yeah, there's a pull request, I think, that just came in.
And the tests are failing in that.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to have a look at that. Okay. So are we okay with leaving it here? I think we voted on it, the story hasn't changed. And they've already started it and made a pull request, so I'll just leave it there for the time being.
Sure.
Cool. Right. Fix UI mistakes and bloopers.
That's me. I'm working on it.
Okay, so yeah,
that's sure. You know, it's, and you see, I have a tasks list. You know,
Right.
quite a few.
Okay.
So feel free to add some. This is just small things that needs to be fixed. You know.
Right. Okay. Is this an investigation, or are you actually?
Well, I was just writing stuff up, and I created a local branch, and I'm just fixing those stuff, and I will, you know, create a pull request when I'm. I mean, I was thinking about creating a pull request, you know, while I was in progress. We could just merge it in continuously because these are just small issues.
Yeah, I think we can actually separate these into all tiny separate stories.
You think so?
Yeah,
wow.
I wouldn't mind, and it's easier to track. So I only need to look at one bug fix at a time rather than having to go through all these little UI things when I'm looking at a pull request.
All right.
Yeah, I prefer that way.
Sure. Okay. If it's more
small
convenient for you.
story. Yeah. Rather than bundling it all together.
Okay, so I can take upon me to tonight or tomorrow morning to write up separate stories for all of these. No problem.
Bugs or chores or features if they're big changes.
Sure.
Cool.
No problemos.
So, well, you've started on it, but you will split this up, right? So I'll just leave it.
I got this. I can unstart this.
Right.
Yeah, I just unstarted right now, and I'm gonna add, you know, split this up. Yeah, I'm just gonna add a note to myself, you know.
Okay. Cool. Right. Start Hangout capability for each pending hookup. As a logged in user, I'd like to start a Hangout for pending hookup. In order to hang out with my.
Wondering how it can be requested and started story without owners. How can it be?
What?
Well, I mean that story has been already started, but there are no owners. How can it be?
Thomas is the owner.
Thomas?
Yeah.
No, we're talking about the start hangout.
Yes, I can't understand.
Oh, you mean this one?
Who
oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Somebody
good
clicks
point.
start, but there's no owner.
Uh-huh.
Yes, but when I thought that who clicked start, he's the owner.
John, looks like John started this feature and then sent him nobody to the owner. So I
edited.
guess he stopped.
No, John edited it. Look at it.
Yeah, he edited it and set owners to nobody, but he started it as well.
And when you start, you're automatically set as an owner.
Yeah.
Yes. How can?
So he actively edited away himself. So and that's
Right.
the question is why basically. But so we can
Maybe,
unspot
yeah.
this right now, because
Yeah, we probably can move this into the backlog. Where did he go? Ah, cool.
The thing is that this is also an example of terminology that's been introduced to you over the summer. We were using the term event before, and now we are, in this case, we're using hookup. And I know that we have a hookup model in the application. And personally, I don't understand what's the difference between an event and a hookup. Do you know that, Brian?
Good question. I'm not really sure myself.
Yeah, and we discussed this today, me and Sam, and I say that when we approach all of this, with this events, an event is basically everything we do. It's a Scrum. It could be a pair programming session. It could be a client meeting. It could be whatever, sprint planning or something. And most of our events are happening over Google Hangouts, right? So let's focus on that. That events is what we do, and then we can add additional information to them. But we shouldn't have different models for different types of activities we are conducting in as a part of our operations.
Right.
So I would say that we need to clear out some misunderstandings, like what is a hookup, and make this the all the models a little more transparent and more easy to understand. But this is again a discussion that I would need to have together with Yarrow, you, Brian, and some other people, and John, because I know that these guys have been working on this, and I'm still waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, I think I should have been a bit more watchful of this. I've merged things in without really thinking about it.
No problemos. Things happen. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We just clear this shit up. Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be a lot more stricter now. Everything should really be going through Pivotal before getting to GitHub. That's my opinion. Right. Now, let me have a look at the backlog. So we have quite a bit of stuff in the backlog. So the top 3, we've gone through that. Display a list of pending events. Did we go through this? No.
Well, it's another story that has to deal with events that I, build hookups. I don't.
Don't we already have a list of upcoming events?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, oh, sorry.
No, we hear you fine.
Yeah, I've had a look at that code. The event page actually only lists scrums. So maybe the story relates to the fact that there's nowhere in the system you can look.
But the thing is that, Christian, the events page is scrums only because this is what we want to. There is no other events in the database. That's why this is only the one that are displayed. But if you try to create a new event, you see that there's a pull down for you can choose a new event being a Scrum or a pair programming session. So we could add more categories to that, and stuff like that. So
yeah, but where do we see the pair programming categories?
We don't, because we never implemented this. This was the first iteration.
Yeah, the problem is the most useful type of event is the Scrum. People who create pair programming events, chances are they're not going to be repeating, so they won't be ever listed as upcoming, or they just happen once and then never happen again. Yeah. And the way people usually use pair programming. Create pair programming Hangout. They just create the Hangouts and they don't bother creating the events.
Yeah.
Just post it on Slack.
But I argue, Brian, I argue that if you're on the projects page in website 1 and you want to create a Hangout, when you press that button, I argue that a series of activities should be set in motion, while you as a user only see the Hangout window being opening. But in the background, I say that we should create an event, store it in the database, save the link to that Hangout, and and save some other metadata along with it, and even because then we can use this afterwards in order to pull out statistics. We can assign karma points to the user that actually started the event and stuff. You know what I mean? So what I wanted when we created this events model to be this is the model that we should build everything else upon. If we create pair programming sessions or client meetings or whatever, because then we can use that info to do other interesting stuff. You know what I mean? And the way this is happening now, there is some info stored in the hookups table, and I don't even know why really, because are we going to use that info for something, and why not storing? If we store that information, why couldn't we expand the events model instead?
I think they do store it in a Hangout model or something whenever a Hangout is created. So all that data, maybe what you're looking for, is stored in a Hangout. Not necessarily a new event, but just an instance of a Hangout that's going to be recorded or things like that. Maybe.
We have. I'm just having a look in the models directory. I have stuff that I don't. We have an Hangout model, and we have event model, and we have event date and follow. Well, event date and I don't know. Okay, I'm not quite understanding what's going on with certain models anymore. So that's why I'm hoping that Yara will be able to present something straightforward to us as soon as possible.
Right. Yeah, I think there's now looking at that directory, there's a lot of things there that shouldn't be there.
Shouldn't be there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I was was planned before. I think you and I worked on this before. We had this event model, and we were planning to introduce an event occurrence model, because each event has a schedule attached to it, right?
Yep.
And when you actually start a certain occurrence, then you want to store information about that particular occurrence. So we could copy some of the info or attach, have a one-to-many relationship from an event, and instead of calling it a Hangout, we could, it should be connected to the parent, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, but what they wanted to do with the Hangout is, on top of also being an event occurrence, it could also be like a pair programming started from project page. So not necessarily have an event on top of that.
But I think it should have an event on top of that, even if it only has one single occurrence. You can create an event and attach a schedule that only holds one date. Because that will be consistent with everything else we do, and it will help us. For instance, in pulling out statistics and using that data for something other than just starting those events or those hookups.
Right.
For me, I don't see a reason why we should separate an event that happens only once from an event that has several occurrences. It's still an event. It's the same thing. The only difference is that both of them has a schedule. The only difference is that one schedule only has one date in it, and the other one holds several dates, right? But still, when that date passes, there is this past event. We want to access past events in some way, right?
Right.
In order to view them. So I don't see why we would introduce a new model for that.
Okay. That's yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Right, but we can still reuse the Hangout model, I think.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
yeah. Right. Well, we'll think about this, but right now, it might be difficult to revert this change. Anyway, well, we'll look at this closer at another time. Let's focus on cleaning up the stories here. So yes, so we're not quite sure what this is, are we?
Yeah, I would say that the thing is that what I would suggest now, we have a display list of pending events in table, display list of active live hookups, whatever, add the new hookup event in the view. I don't even know what that is. I would say, we have user can follow event. I would say we will just move all of these to the icebox, until we have, a clear picture where we want to go with all this stuff.
Right. I'm gonna move this into the icebox as well. I'm not entirely sure what that display list of live active hookups. Wait, no. Isn't now I'm very confused. There's a lot of stories here that I really don't understand. Display list of active live hookups. Hookups with live hangouts in a separate table.
Guys,
oh, okay. So these are just live.
We already voted. Why we want to look at them again? You think that is kind of a mess here?
Yeah, I think it is kind of a mess here. I think there are lots of stories that have been put here and never prioritized. So I want to move things back into the icebox and then reprioritize them and just keep a fixed number in the backlog and current. And
I say that everything that has to do with events must wait until we have a clear strategy on where we want to go with this part of application. So I would just move them to the icebox and just mark them as do not start until
Okay.
we have a a dev meeting or sprint planning.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you can unassess them perhaps. Just
Unestimate, yeah.
Unestimate them, yeah.
Okay. Add new hookup event. I'm not sure if some of these stories were already addressed in some of the pull requests.
That's even stranger then.
Yeah. Right. Now. Okay, so this one's been added a long time ago. I think I added this one. Co-founder and senior members testimonials. Are we planning to keep doing this, or are we going to move this into the icebox as well? So let me just read the description. As an interested user, so that I may learn more about the founding of Agile Ventures, I would like to see more information about the background and motives of the co-founders.
Oh, I wish we lived in a perfect world and I had time to do this, but move it to the icebox,
Yeah, fair enough. I'll estimate this again and move this there. Yeah, but I think some people have talked about adding screencasts, and I think that trumps everything that I've put before. So I'd like to prioritize that. User can follow event.
Yeah.
Okay. When did we vote on this?
Long time ago. If you click on history, you see that this one is created ages ago.
Okay, fine. It's been a long time, so things have changed. Chances are whatever we estimated is no longer valid. So I'm just gonna move this into the icebox as well. Refactor authentication controller. So this is the one that John is working on.
Oh, that's the one. Okay.
Yeah. He hasn't started it. That's the thing. So
Make a
I believe
comment
this
about
is,
this.
yeah. Okay. Progress is going a bit slow.
Yeah, just ask them to move the code to their private repository or something,
Right.
and that we close the pull request.
Okay. Yeah, I'll deal with this later.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then keep this in the. No, I'll just keep it there since they've started it. I think.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Finish.
I need to go. I have only one
Okay.
more. Yeah, see you tomorrow.
All right.
Absolutely. Take it
Bye.
easy.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Finish content migration. Okay. So this has been sitting there probably for ages. We need to talk to Sam about this one. I think we finished it, or at least we don't no
Just
longer care
you
about
know
what's
what?
in the
So
system.
is it finish? Okay. Just you know what? There's this trash can. Just press the trash can.
Right.
This one is like.
Okay. Sorry, Sam. In case he watches this. Photos including. Did we not?
Do the same
No,
thing.
we didn't do this.
The same thing.
Now this is a very old story.
We don't need that.
Enable HTTPS security. Sam, not sure if he's investigated this. Right. I'm not sure if he's still looking into this, but if he wants to, I think we should just reintroduce a new story or something.
Yeah.
This is old. He probably didn't think it was worth it because I don't think we have the funding for paying for HTTPS right now. Reputation system for pairing.
Oh, that's karma point.
Yeah, that's karma points.
Yeah. Just toss
Oh.
it away. We have that already.
Yeah, this will be building on top of karma points. That's redundant. Project portal. So what is an unestimated story doing here? Did he introduce that? Wow. Okay.
Somebody moved it recently. Check the history of the.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's you.
Oh yeah.
So what was your? Could you please explain what
Yes,
this was
I
supposed to
can.
do?
Yes, I can. It's kind of it's connected to a discussion me and Sam had about adding the value of the whole application, and it's also connected to the dashboard for the whole application itself, and also for each project. And we can get rid of this feature now but I'd like to keep this. This portal that's why I kept this right now, because there's this link to this portal that Berkeley is using, and
Right.
I want to keep I wanted to keep this around just so we know that there are other people interested in this way of presenting the gathering metadata about a project, because Armando is very interested in this as a way of evaluating students' efforts, in a project-based education, a project-based course, basically, So I think it's an interesting thing. I think that's why I kept it around in the backlog, just to have it on on a agenda. It's an old story. I think I created it in, I don't know, March or something.
Right.
When was it added? Do you see the date?
24th February.
Oh, February. You
Wow.
see, it's very, very old one.
That's very old.
Yeah. Well, actually, Sam created it, but I recall that we discussed this. I was with him when we wrote the story up. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, but you can move it into I don't know. You can just move it to the bin. Just move it to the trash can.
Okay.
We
you have
don't
this
need
link?
it around. Yeah, I have it now because I saved it in another place as well.
Okay, cool. So I can just delete it.
Yeah.
So Yarrow said it's connected to this.
Yeah.
This project landing template story.
Template.
So I guess that's updating the getting started and statistics for each project.
Oh.
Okay, that.
Yeah, that's two different features. I mean, getting started is one
Yeah,
thing, and
I
because
agree.
getting started is something that the project lead should do. You know, it's just a document basically.
Mhm.
While
Yeah.
statistic is a technical solution, you know, where you pull info.
Yeah, these are completely different things. I agree. Well, this hasn't been voted on, so we'll discuss this in some
Yeah.
Scrum. Work on round banner link.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I'm thinking about ditching the round banners altogether. So
Okay.
I don't know if we even need those sub pages anymore. So
Okay.
and
Fine.
also this is covered in some other place as well. So just get rid of it.
Okay, got rid of it. Don't worry. Videos are still shown after users unsync is
Yeah.
okay.
And that's
This
a
is
problem
something
we have because
haven't addressed.
the way Yarrow is displaying past events or plan to display past events
Yep.
is a privacy infringement in itself. And also if we store info about this, and since we do have a button when somebody connects YouTube channel to their profile, and they can unconnect this channel as well. That's a one way for this user to say that I don't want you guys to be watching my videos anymore, right?
Right.
So, but what if we store info about a hangout, an event? So then we no longer can, you know what I mean? We no longer take into consideration whether he wants us to see it or not. So that's a bit of a problem for me. How should we address that?
Yeah, this will be another feature, I think. We need some way to filter out all the hookups that involve this person.
Yeah,
Or
don't do it, but then be very clear about this, that we don't care whether you say, no, we're still going to pull all the videos.
Yeah, I agree.
What I mean?
There's some legal issues associated with this one, but yeah, I don't think there's a way to remove their existing pairing videos because they're involved. I mean, they're together with other people, so it's not his own property, I think.
Well, and I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know.
I'm not sure either. But
yeah, but the thing is that since we asked them to connect and disconnect, that could imply that by disconnecting, I'm saying no to everything that I have produced, and that wouldn't be the case anymore if we store that locally. So.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So.
But anyway,
this
bug is fixed. I think we can just remove it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. I think what. Oh yeah. Fine. Yes. Yep. Don't worry. Add privacy statement, Thomas. So you've added this good long while ago, February. Is it still relevant? I think it is.
I think it is. Yes.
Nobody's looked at this, so should I move this back to the icebox? Or
I would say, move to icebox, but we need to address this issue.
Okay.
In some way. Yeah.
Migrate Google. Okay, still more migration stories, but it's been a long time, so I don't think we care about the information that was in the old site anymore. So I'm gonna get rid of this.
Yeah.
Trash this, yes. Revisit exception handling and okay, so this is something I've introduced. But at the moment we haven't had any problems with it, so I'm gonna say this story isn't relevant until we actually experience a bug.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if this is relevant to this. Pivotal was down for a few hours last week, and we couldn't access our projects pages at that time.
Ah, okay.
So we should, and I spoke to Yarrow about this. And I think he wrote up a feature that we should wrap them in a timeout or try or whatever,
No, I think I remember why the reason I introduced this story was because I knew that gem was gonna raise an exception that some Preety didn't handle at the time, or was it Dima that did the story.
It was Dima. It was Dima.
Yeah, okay. Yes. I knew it was going to raise an exception, but since it didn't cause any problems, I let it go, and I just put this chore in there. But, so it looks like that bug did rear its ugly head, so we need to deal with this. But I think this is going to be more of a feature or a bug or whatever. Well, until yeah, so we do need to prioritize this one, I think.
Yeah.
Get this fixed.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You
I'll
can
leave
move
it
it
here.
up in the backlog. Just move it.
Yep, just move it up. Stay up
And
there.
perhaps if you remember later, perhaps after the meeting, try to add another more descriptive verbose description of this. Just
Okay.
what this what it is about. And also, I think that since Yarrow introduced this wrap third party, what is that? There's a bug. What is that? That was introduced. Often he was. Huh. I think he had a chore or something about wrapping third-party services in timeout, but I can't find it right now. Let's see here.
No.
Well, never mind. Okay, if I find it, I'll let you know.
Yep.
Yeah, here it
Okay.
is. Wrap third-party request with timeouts. And
Third. Okay, you spelled it that way. Party.
do you see it?
Okay. Yep.
It's basically the same thing, although it doesn't specifically mention Pivotal Tracker. But I know he wrote that one up after we encountered this problem with projects pages not being accessible while Tracker was down.
Okay. Right. So that deals with different things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as you just
Fine.
add some sort of description to your bug report there, what
Yep.
it's all about.
I'll expand on it later.
Okay.
Cool. So I like the backlog now. It's a lot cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Current is still a mess. I think we need to deal with all this stuff waiting. Application. Okay. If it's okay with you guys, unless you guys got stories you want to vote on, I want to deal with whatever's in deliver. I think some of them is no longer valid. Like this one, application error. I still don't understand what this is supposed to
let's
be.
deal with this. We can vote on something if we have time. If
Okay.
So this one is okay now. It's no longer
Application error on production. We no longer have this. I can't discover what the fault of this was, and we just need to push additional stories because this is not descriptive enough. I think there is no direct solution for this. It can be any kind of error.
This error was caused due to FreeGeoIP.net being down.
Yeah, but we fixed that one, I believe.
Okay.
We added a timeout.
Yeah.
So, that's what Sampriti says. Whether or not we can ensure it never happens again, that's a very good question because unless FreeGeoIP goes down, we don't know. So, yes. I'm
Well,
not sure.
it is delivered.
I think it is delivered until, it comes back in, but that's a
Yeah, when the
separate
shit
story.
hits the fan,
Yeah.
we reopen.
So, I'll just click deliver,
Mm-hmm.
then keep it there for Sam to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Add karma. Okay, this one. It's in there, just never used, so I don't really know what to do with this one. Unless
No,
it's
look, open up the story. I think the way we wrote the other, in order to see each user's engagement in the community, I would like to assign karma. Okay, the way the story is written, you fulfilled all the criteria for it. So you might deliver. What we want to do in the future, we want to write up new stories building on this one. For instance, I would like to expand the way karma points are assigned for various things. But this one is delivered. The way I see it. And we played with it a little bit today, me and Sam. And
okay. Then why didn't he accept it?
Because it wasn't delivered.
Okay, fine. Cool.
You know, we
We'll
have to be
leave.
strict on this one. You know.
Okay, fine. Um, show event page times with users time zone. Okay,
Yeah.
I think this has been merged in.
Yeah, but
Okay,
I have a problem with that one actually.
okay.
And if you let's see, if we go to develop, let's see, website one. I think I have a problem. It was a while since I had a look at it. Are you guys seeing my screen now? Am I
Yep.
recording my screen? What am I recording, by the way?
Yep, we're seeing
Now
your
let's
screen.
record it.
You got your screen.
Yeah, hold on. So here we are, and we go to each. Yeah, here it is. All right, this is a no-go for me. Upcoming schedule: Thursday, 28th of August. You know, 7 a.m. UTC, 9 a.m. Central European Time. But he also repeats the date. You know.
Okay.
So I would say that out of a user experience or user interface, it's a no-go on this one.
Right. Okay.
The date might be different though, couldn't it?
Huh?
The date could be different.
Could it? Yes,
Well,
it could. If we are okay, so if this is close to midnight in one time zone and this, you know, that we
yeah.
past midnight, the date would be different.
All right. I
I
think
accept that, but that's a corner case scenario.
Yeah.
it's just the way of displaying it. Ideally, they shouldn't be together. You should only show one at a time, and you should have a toggle. Then you can toggle between displaying either of these. So yeah, maybe since that one's already delivered, maybe I'll leave it as that and just add a chore to clean that up.
Okay.
I think he did fulfill the criteria. It is just a tiny UX issue. It hasn't been shown
Well,
to
actually,
client
you
yet.
know, the way he wrote up the description, it doesn't live up to the way description is written.
Okay.
You know, because it says here, example, 6 o'clock UTC, 11 o'clock UTC plus 5, for instance, you know. So he has a slash and he repeats the date. So I wouldn't say this is delivered. You know, it's not finished. I know it's merged in and everything. So how do you want to handle this?
This is already merged in. I think I would just put a chore.
Okay.
And then
fair
ask
enough.
him to clean this up and
Right.
relate it to the story.
Mm.
Just an addition on top of that,
Mm.
because he has delivered it.
Yeah.
Um,
I just say that, you know,
So
if
I'd
we
say-
push this up to staging and
no, we
you know,
definitely not. Yeah, but it's already in there, so we need to clean that up before we push anything.
yeah.
So we'll need to add an extra chore. You mind adding that chore, Thomas?
Yeah. I just make a note on it and I add it later, okay?
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Calculate and display time zone. As a site user, in order to better plan who I can collaborate with, I would like to know other users' time zones. Is that already in place?
I think it is.
That was John and Nikita.
If we go on, where are we? Here's develop. If we go to members on develop, let me just share my screen. If we go to members and we go to Brian, and there is this time zone showing on you.
Okay. Okay, yes, I forgot about that one. Cool.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
Leave it there. Redirect to most recently viewed. Okay. Yeah, I remember this one. I merged this in. I think it's fine. So I think all these stories here, what I'm looking for is really something that's been staying there for too long and we've never delivered it. Like,
but you can okay. So, well, hold on a second now. Are we gonna press deliver on this now, or do you want to?
No. Until we get it all to staging.
Okay, got it.
Just to remind myself what's in develop at the moment. Redirect to most recently viewed page after login. I think we're pretty clear on what this had done.
And is this working now on develop?
I believe so. If you sign out on develop, in fact, let me try it. So let me go to the members page, and I want to log in. Then I use my GitHub login. This should redirect me to the members page. Cool. That's fine.
Good. That's it. All right. Wonderful.
Yeah. So they should all be working. Add members count to users index.
67 awesome volunteers from all over the
Oh
globe.
yeah, there we go. That's fine. Repeating is not respecting. Ah yes, I remember discussing this with John. So
What was that? What I don't. What was that?
I think it was just a bug with choosing a start and repeat ends on in the past for repeating events. Something about midnight, I believe.
Okay.
So I ended up suggesting that to remove the end time completely and replace it with duration.
Duration. Yes. And it's done. I know.
Okay, that's done. Ability to email uses. Okay, this one's another one that's been sitting here for a long time. Renee has done
and
this.
I spoke to Renee
Very-
about this, and he says that this is delivered and everything is
Yeah.
cool, and there are some tasks that are not fulfilled. If you just scroll down a little bit.
Manual
Yeah, because
web interface is not done.
yeah, and I'm not. Well, the criteria was to do it over the console. If you have a look at the user story, and for some reason the web
Okay.
interface just came along as a task.
Right.
So that's okay, I think. It's a messy story, basically, you know.
Okay.
But I know it's in place. I merged it in. It's there, and I think also it's made it all the way to production, actually. So you might have.
So this is already ready for Sam to accept.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember that's an old story. It was done, just never. No one's looked at it. Create page for scrums. Okay, we know about this. Just recently merged.
Yeah, I'm gonna add that chore to clean up the interface. Well, actually, I have that chore in the
As part of your UI thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere there.
Yeah.
Cool. Show current live sessions. Yes, I remember this one.
And this is merged in, right?
Yep,
Or,
that's merged in.
yeah.
It's there, I believe. What was it? Hangouts. Now the problem is we need to type the URL correctly, unless we do have another way to access this page, which I'm not aware of.
We don't have that. There's nothing. I say
Okay,
that we can have a pull down on events. You know, when we can choose, you know, previous scrums or current
Right.
events. You
Okay.
know. But
that makes sense.
and I asked him to remove this shading and stuff.
Yeah, I think the CSS has gone wild here.
Yeah.
Lots of shadows and
Yeah.
animations and stuff.
And also,
Yeah.
we have to clean up, or at least have a decision about the buttons, because we usually use large buttons in website 1, you know, bootstrap wise, and
Okay.
and I don't know.
Small ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. Yes, you need to do that. I think I didn't want to put too much consideration into the CSS at the point.
I know.
Well, now we should. Okay, I think. Well, the problem I'm seeing right now, I've begun to realize that trying to split the stories into UI changes and just putting a simple backend, because there's no prioritization of these stories. I'm starting to feel that I'm merging more backend stuff and not enough front-end changes. So in the end, it will always look uglier. Because I keep introducing backend changes without merging in the corresponding front-end cleanups. Yeah. So I'm not really sure what to do. Maybe we should put it back into one story needs to introduce both the front end and the back end, or start prioritizing stories so I don't merge in anymore until we fix up the front end.
The front end, yeah.
Actually, that makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we need to introduce.
But I don't understand this one. You know, this just switch back to that window. Okay, so what are we talking about here? We're talking about currently.
Currently live sessions,
Okay,
I
so
believe.
why is this page showing all these instances? Oh, what are we
Oh, I
seeing
think
on
these
screen?
Okay. I think these are stubs events or something. But that's a good point. Maybe no, can't be. No, I'm not sure where these came
yeah.
from. I
So
thought these were seeded before.
yeah, but I mean, if they're currently live, I mean,
No. Show all live, toggle summary. Show all or live. Okay, these are not live.
okay. So, but hold on a second now. Let's have a look at the story in Pivotal Tracker again. And what does it
Going to
say?
see current live hangouts. Yeah, as a user, all live sessions and their details.
Okay. So why are we displaying past events? Why did he create an interface with past events if the only thing he was supposed to display were live sessions?
Okay. That's a good point. No, I think I've been merging things too leniently and not really watching the story. So I think that's partially my fault for merging this in without looking at the acceptance criteria. But now I want to be well in the future.
No problem. The thing here is,
Okay.
I see that he's pulling info about a weekend Scrum and also about some sort of pair programming session, or
Yeah, I think these are all from events.
Everything is pulled out from events.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's
So
a good thing, I guess. But is there a link to
yeah, there is a link to these events here.
But is there a link to a recorded?
I think there will be if there is a recorded session, but these are all stubbed. Because I remember he showed me instances with participants and hosts and stuff, but since these were, I think, seeded stuff, they don't have that information.
Okay.
But yeah, that part is fine.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
I'm done with that.
Cool. Yep. So it just needs a bit of cleanup, I think.
I'm just gonna add, just to make a comment, that the delivered solution is a little bit out of scope. Okay.
Yeah, sure. GitHub commit count, right? So this is another. Yeah, we were supposed to look at this, me and you, Thomas, but
yeah, I know.
yeah, we couldn't find time. So what should we do about this? Because right now it's sitting there on develop. We need to introduce a story to clean this up and have it ready for staging. Or something.
Can we try to pair on this? How's your availability this weekend?
The availability this weekend, not good. Tomorrow I'll be available.
Yeah, I can tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow. Oh shit! I got my training. I work to 3 o'clock UTC. Then I train. I could be home around 8 o'clock UTC. No, 1600. 1800 UTC or 18. Yeah, I could be. Yeah, around 6 o'clock. Yeah, if that works for you, I could be around.
Yep, that's good for me.
Cool. Let's have a look at this tomorrow then.
Yeah. Yeah. So in case you're curious about what we wanted to do with this, Christian, it's I think the solution that Pretty came up with. It solves the problem, but I think that's not what we originally intended. But he did do exactly what was in the description. He did calculate the number of commits. That's perfectly fine. I think what we wanted to do was what we really wanted was to have it update in real time. Right now it's a sort of batch job thing done in the background manually. So what we want to do is actually automate this process.
And another thing, I don't know if I already said that.
Thomas? I think you cut off there. We're not hearing anything.
I can't hear him either.
Possibly some network issues on his end. His video seems to have frozen as well.
Hmm.
Are you hearing me?
Oh, it's back.
Oh, now you're back. You
Okay.
cut off for quite a while, so
Oh, that's strange. Oh, what do you
yeah.
know? Okay, what I was saying that when we show those commits on various projects, this commit counts should only be showed for projects that this particular user is following on website 1. You know what I mean?
Right.
In the screenshot that showed the screenshot that Sampriti presented for us had your profile shown.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the projects that the commits were counted on wasn't a project that you follow on website 1. You know, you're not a follower of that project, so that's a no for me. We should filter those results somehow.
Ah, okay. Okay, fine. Yeah, I think, but the problem was it's not made clear in this description.
I know.
Yeah. So I think Sampriti's done exactly what he should have done.
Yeah.
Just there were some other requirements. I think we probably need to add a chore or story on top of that.
Again, you know, having a good discussion when we vote, and also pair programming is crucial, and scrums, because if we have held regular scrums and talking about all aspects of the project, he could, you know, bring us up to speed on what he's doing without us even seeing his code. We could have, you know, just get a description from him, and we could have kind of, you know, quote unquote corrected him and saying, or add some more information to, you know, to him. He could have, you know, delivered the right solution. So again, no criticism against anybody apart from, you know, our method works when we do all the activities that we are supposed to do, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Mistakes happen when we leave people alone.
That's true. Okay, so right. Handle nil creator IDs. Okay, that bug's been sitting there for a long time, and I see a pull request just came in to deal with this. This is by Raphael and Yarrow, I believe. I haven't had a look at that yet, but the build is red.
Yeah.
So I normally don't look at pull requests with red builds unless their problem is some random JavaScript error. So I'll have a closer look at this. If what Travis is telling me is it's some other bug, I think it was another bug, something about Hangout, so I won't normally look at it until they fixed it. Okay, so this is the issue in if a user ever destroys their account, projects and documents will still be referring to a non-existing user and everything blows up. Basically, we had a rough time with, what was it, Paul destroying his account or something.
Yeah, and
that caused us a lot of panic. Yeah, so in the end we disabled the destroy our account feature temporarily, and until this is introduced, we'll try and keep it. We'll be keeping that feature on hold for a while. Cool, so that's clear. Orphan, nil creator, orphan documents and tags. Now these are the same thing, I think. Connected to, these are the same.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, okay. There was no need to introduce two stories. Changes not propagated to users. Okay, that's interesting. I don't understand why this was done then.
Who introduced this?
Orphan tags and document, that was by Paul. Cool. And this one's by me. Okay, maybe we both introduced it long ago. 18 February. And yeah, this should have been quite long. 19th February.
So-
Okay, so okay, so it's redundant, one of them.
Okay, just remove one of them.
Okay. The problem is there's conversations going in both of
Okay,
them.
just keep them. Keep both of them.
I'll keep them both and just make sure we deliver them both at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is they've got conversations. Okay, so we've gone through everything. That was quite productive, I think. We
Absolutely.
cleaned it up a lot.
Yeah.
I like the new backlog, the new current. Sorry for those people who I had to move the stories to the icebox, but we can come and revisit them. Just to be clear that our objectives haven't changed. Obviously, the project has been changing, so some of these acceptance criteria no longer are valid. So we might want to revisit them, re-estimate them. Just be clear on what they're meant to be doing.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yes. Oh, there's one in the top. Static page is controller RSpec refactoring. Oh, that's one by Sly. Okay.
I think we hold on a
Yeah,
second.
I think I might have merged /
Yeah.
done this one. So I'm gonna have a closer look at this. Look
Yeah,
at
and
the
ask
pull
him to
request.
click finish if he's finished. You know.
Right. Yeah, we need to figure out who clicks finish when. I think some stories like these two bugs, they've clicked finish when they're done. I was thinking that I would be clicking finish when I've merged it into develop. But I think I've forgotten the flow a little bit. Can you remind me, Thomas?
I
Was
would
supposed to click
I would
finish?
say that the developer clicks finish when he submits the pull request, you know, because
Uh-huh.
that's and you click deliver when you merge it in. Well, usually, you know, oh yeah, that's a bit of a problem, of course, yeah, because poof. Yes, we would need another step then. Okay.
Yeah, we need another step, really.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? How about I introduce a new tag in there, a label, develop, staging, or production, so we know where these stories are.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody clicks finish, there is no tag on it, just means, or I can put a new tag like PR.
PR submitted.
PR submitted, yeah, and then another tag once it's merged, and a new tag develop, and that will be in a finished level, so they'll all be around here. So for example, all these are in develop, so I'll just add a label develop, something like this, so at least I know where they are. At least we know where they are.
Yeah.
Then when they go up to staging, we can change these to staging. Dance. No, wait. When we go to staging, we'll deliver them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you remove the develop.
Yeah. Okay.
This is not the best solution actually, but
No.
it's a solution at least.
Yeah, we really need an extra step. That's the thing.
Yeah. Or we should say that you click finish when you.
Yeah.
Or me when we merge into develop.
Okay.
Or we just don't bother with that. It just let the developer click finish when he's ready. When it's finished with what he thinks the acceptance criteria are fulfilled.
I think we can already tell that when they feel that way when they submit the pull request.
Yeah.
So I think it's more important that we click finish.
Yeah. Okay, we can make that decision now. That we and we need to communicate that out to the dev team.
Yeah, of course.
Hopefully in this weekend, if we can have a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
That we take care of all the button clicking on stories as soon as they are in current. They no longer click on buttons. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So no editing after a story has been voted on, and no clicking. Okay.
Yeah.
But we do say start. Don't we?
Yeah, start.
Of course. Start is perfectly fine. But anything beyond start, finishing.
Yeah, we just communicate with finished by issuing a pull request.
Yeah, of course. That's good enough for our case, and then when we merge in, we can tell whether or not a story is really finished.
Also, another issue with those stories that now we have unestimated stories in Icebox, most of them. But if we have voted on them, should they be moved automatically to the backlog when we vote on them? And is it free for people to start them, or should we kind of assign stories to people?
I'd say let's try and keep it all in order so that preferably they pick something out of the top, say, 3 stories in the backlog if they really want to start something.
Okay.
Maybe something like that, yeah. I think what we vote on should go in the backlog, and then we should prioritize finishing up the backlog before we vote on new stories.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
Right. Cool.
Fair enough. Cool.
So I think, yeah, there's enough work in there to last till the next dev meetup.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I think so. I mean, right. I do want to get a good look at the events business, you know.
Yes.
And
events, and I think, what was it? GitHub commit counts. We need to deal with that. Yeah, let's go through the proper process. The next meetup, we need to have a story in there to vote on about the GitHub commit. We can investigate it tomorrow, of course, but perhaps not really start on it until we go through the proper.
Spike something up
spike something up because our time is precious. So
absolutely,
we need to spike something. Yeah. Okay. What else was it? This one. Yes. And we need a chore or something in there about that UI issue with the user's time zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I create a series of chores for the UI refactoring, and I guess people can if they want to work on something small, this is a good opportunity to I mean, they could pick those small chores, to fix the buttons or.
Okay, I could have a look at that tomorrow, Thomas.
Cool.
When you split those out.
All right. I think that was a very productive meeting, even though it's just it was 4 and now 3 of us. But I think we've got a lot done. I like the idea of having a clear process because I think I was starting to feel that Pivotal Tracker was not playing a clear enough role in our workflow. Yeah, I'd like to hopefully get some of the other guys in and get their feedback on what we want the new process to be like. Yes, because I feel I'm starting to get pull requests that completely off track or not related to any pivotal story.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's one thing I'm a little bit confused about, and that is the appropriate place to put maybe a discussion document, because some of the design documents are up on the website 1 website.
Yeah.
And maybe they're not ready because they are being distributed.
Yeah, I think.
But I can also, it's in the public domain, and.
Right. Those design documents, I think they are really what comes before the story. So we normally discuss. I think we'll discuss over what we want to do. Like what approach we want to take. Like for example, the whole refresh of the project's landing page. So I think Christopher did a good job putting up some proposed designs for the project landing page. So that's like a story that's not quite ready yet to vote on. We're still deciding on what kind of approach we want to take. We're still brainstorming like what sort of solutions we have. Once those ideas have sort of solidified, we can move them into the icebox and put clear acceptance criteria is what each story should be doing.
Okay.
Makes sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if we are working on a big feature, we start off with design documents, discuss it, and then later we come up with a couple of stories. We add them to a dice box and vote on them, move them to the backlog, and then people pick them up and move them to the current. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. With documentation pages, though, it's difficult if you're going to put, pages up. I can't think of anything at the moment. Have to do X, Y, Z, and it needs reviewing.
Yeah.
It's actually already on the website.
Okay.
You can't sort of hide it in, rather than make it public. Do you see what I mean? It's like a staging area. Maybe.
Sorry, could you repeat that again? I think I didn't get it.
It's a bit like there's a staging area for documents before they go live. For spelling mistakes, comments, and things like that.
I think we're not really worried about that sort of content, are we?
Okay.
Thomas, just correct me if I'm wrong, but we originally wanted.
Well, the reason I mentioned it is because I feel I would like to see a couple of introductory articles about Git. But if I put them up there, they're actually up there, and people might read them, and they could have errors in. So where do I put them?
Right.
I'm not. I'm perhaps I'm tired, but I'm not quite following the discussion here, the logic here. What am I missing? If you may, are we talking about content on website 1 or documents?
Yes,
right?
articles.
Okay, so you create a document, and
is everyone free to write an article?
Yes. The thing here, what we said, one of the agile principles is that project members are individuals that should be trusted, right? So what we say is, we trust our members, community members, that they don't mess up other people's work. So if you've written an article, that article is editable by anybody, and we just hope that nobody messes with it. Having said that, we have version control on documents, I think, and we can always revert to an older version. We don't have a mechanism for that through the web interface, but I can do it on the command line.
Yeah, and I think we're not worried too much about stuff like spelling mistakes and tiny errors, because I think the idea of having it up there is so that somebody else can review it, and then they can make changes on top of what you've done to just correct a few misinformation here and there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's not an issue.
Okay. I just wanted to check that
out. Cool.
Right. Thomas, go on, Thomas.
It's late, and we are just about to blow the 2-hour. We have 4 minutes left on the 2-hour time frame here. So,
cool. Yeah, I was just about to say, unless there's any other questions, shall we call it a day?
I said we could. I said I'm done. Christian, any questions?
Excellent. Cool. Thanks. So, are we going to plan another dev meeting this week, or so how should we communicate all our decisions today to the rest of the members?
I was hoping that we could write something up, perhaps mostly about the GitHub and Pivotal Tracker stuff. But I would also hope that we could have a dev meeting this weekend. But I understand that there's a no-go on you.
No, I can't do this weekend. Perhaps having a dev meeting twice a week is too.
No, it could be too much. Absolutely.
I think
I was hoping we could have more people in this one.
I was hoping that too, but I think we really need to make it a bit more apparent that we're having a dev meeting today.
Yeah, I was going to ask where that is actually indicated, because I only accidentally saw the message in Slack and thought,
So we don't
okay.
document that much, basically. You know, I'm a bit of a, you know, I don't
but
like too much documentation.
It could just be an icon in the event or something.
Yeah. So
Let
yeah.
me create a series of events for this weekly meeting. Right
Okay.
after, I would say 1800 is the scrum. So I could say quarter past, the top of the hour, right? So
Right.
uh,
I think I'm not sure if Wednesday is the best time for me. But if we could move that to another day, preferably Tuesday or possibly Monday as well, that'll be better for me.
okay.
I'll just bring that up next time around.
All right. Let's. Is it okay if we try Tuesday next week?
Yeah, we can try Tuesday.
Yeah. Wow. Wait. Tuesday. Yeah. All right. Tuesday, 1800. Sure. Let's do it. Okay. All right, guys.
thank
I
you.
set it up, and we try to communicate some of the decisions in the next Scrum, you know,
Okay.
and the next
Okay.
meeting. So yeah,
Right. Maybe we can post something on Slack as well, I think.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll write this up and post it on Slack. So just let me summarize what.
If you want, if you
This.
send me a PM first, so we can perhaps process this
Okay.
a little bit, you know, and
Yeah,
then we
sure,
can
sure.
post this together somehow.
All right. Then we'll make an announcement tomorrow or
Cool.
something. Cool.
Live long and prosper, gentlemen.
Okay.
You too, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Easy. Yes.